Hello, and thank you so much for being here with me. I feel very excited right now. I feel very excited to finally have this opportunity to introduce you to something that I've been very thrilled about. To introduce you to something that has been coming to life through me. To introduce you to the body keys. But before I tell you about the body keys themselves, I would love to provide a little bit of context so that you know what it is more specifically that they are growing up out of. So, if it's okay, I'd like to rewind a little bit. Let's go back a few years. Because for some time now, I've been focused really heavily on the study of flow. This is something that's always fascinated me. The idea that we can enter into a state of flow. And the moment that we recognize the potential for flow in any area of our experience, whether it's conversation or productivity or performance, once we recognize the capacity to flow, another question very quickly rises to the surface, which is, what's the deal with stuckness? Why is it that we get stuck at all? If we have this great natural capacity to flow with the rhythms of our lives, then why is it that we're so often stuck in such tension? And so this is a question that has haunted me for many years, and it's also a question that has initiated basically every course of inquiry that I've been actively involved in now for a great deal of time. And so what I've realized over time, and what I recognized very early on, is that many of the techniques that we apply in moments of stuckness tend not to work so well. One great and primary example of this is the technique of processing. So let's say that you feel stuck in a moment of high emotional intensity. The idea would be that you need to either express or process those emotions in some way. And so a lot of attention then is turned towards making sense of what's happening. The same is true when we get stuck in mental knots, when the world around us becomes so complex and confusing that we don't know which way to turn. Typically, we would analyze our thinking processes. We would attempt to process the moment, right? And through overanalysis, we tend to become more stuck. And even the idea of adjusting our framework, of changing the way we think about things, in many cases, when you're tied up in a mental knot, you simply don't have the capacity to do that. There's no flexibility there. That's the whole problem. And so what I've found in my own experience is that, quite unfortunately, what I've found in my experience is that processing these moments while in the very midst of them does not work. It simply doesn't work. And so I've been exploring alternatives. If processing isn't the answer, if trying to understand what is happening and why actually only drives us deeper into the very issue that we're attempting to address, then what's the alternative? And what I've found in time is that the alternative, the answer, is always held in the body. It's always in the body. Stuckness on any level is going to relate directly, in every case, to the mind. Even if you're stuck in, let's say you're stuck in an emotional loop, or you're stuck at the cusp of change and can't seem to bring yourself past to the point of fear-based paralysis, this is always a matter of the way in which we're relating to that moment of stuckness. The stuckness is about how we think of things. We get stuck in mental trances. That's a very real and true fact. We get stuck in trances. These are patterns of thinking that lock our physical systems. And so the answer is always to come back into the body, to retreat from that heavy efforted space of the mind and to relax into the space of the physical body, the physical form itself. And so I've recognized that the answer in these cases of stuckness is always some version of embodiment. And so that's kind of what led me into the body keys. You see, the body keys are specific ways in which each of us relates to those moments of stuckness on a practical level. The body keys are a way of mapping your individual system in order to identify specifically how it is that your body needs to be nourished in those moments of tension. Ultimately, the body keys is about identifying several key factors, the first of which is an area of challenge or a pattern of stuckness. And there are many different ways that we become stuck. But each of us as an individual has a specific way or a series of specific ways in which we tend to become the most knotted up, the most tense. And in addition to the challenge, in addition to that pattern of stuckness, each of us is individually set up at the very core of our nature to meet those moments in a graceful way, to meet those moments through the body, and to relax into what's natural. And so those are what I'm referring to, the body keys. The body keys themselves are specific embodied activities that we can engage in during those periods of stuckness in order to free ourselves from the trance of tension. However that tension may express, whether it's confusion or emotional intensity, whatever the case may be, there are ways that we can actively engage with the moment from the position of our bodies that allows the knottedness to ease. You can start to get a sense for how powerful and how exciting this is, for how important. And so the body keys are a way of mapping the individual system, of looking at each of us individually and identifying how it is that we can best serve those moments of tension and return to our natural state of ease. So you can get a sense for why I'm so excited about this. What I'd love to do is I'd love to record a couple of other videos for you. I'd like to take you a little deeper into the technical side of this. I'd love for you to understand how it is that I came to this. Now that you know what it's serving, I'd like to give you a window into the workings of this new system. That can be helpful for many people. So I think I'll record a video about that, and then I'll also record a video about the offer itself, really what it is that I'm bringing forward here and how I intend for it to be of use to you, how it is that I see myself being able to serve you through these new discoveries. So stick with me. This is only part one of a few. I'll be back again with more information, more detail, and ultimately with a really special offer, one that I believe will help and support many, many people, hopefully you too. Okay, thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for hearing me. Bye for now.